So, if you are somebody that you know drives a truck, then this isn't any news to you. But I'm just now slowly starting to see articles catch up with what I've kind of already known about the trucking industry, and it's in trouble. I took notes, so let's talk about it. So, truckers move almost three-fourths of everything we buy: food, gas, clothes, medicine, you name it. So now that trucking is slowing down, everything else is going to slow down as well. Prices are going to go up, jobs are going to go down, the shelves are going to get emptier. So, what they're saying is within the last year, more than 30 trucking companies have gone bankrupt. Some of them are saying it's due to a driver shortage, others are saying they have too many trucks and not enough work. But either way, drivers are being pushed out. Now, this particular article that I read, of course, wanted to factor in tariffs. So they talked about the tariffs and the new rules making it more expensive to buy and repair trucks, and saying that the smaller companies can't keep up with that. And then, of course, there's been some changes as far as immigrant drivers. So, of course, being that there's a gap there as well, then you have some type of employment issue.
One thing is about the trucking industry, a lot of companies went bankrupt is because of bad business practices. They want to blame tariffs, they want to blame all these other things. There are some factors. We all know there is not a driver shortage. Okay. But a lot of these companies went out of business because of bad business practices. They were wasting money. Another thing that you have to worry about too is the insurance. There's been a lot of nuclear verdicts, meaning there's been a lot of verdicts that people have been getting paid off of these false claims of accidents of 10 million or 5 million or better. So that plays a big factor in as well. Some of these big companies just quit because of nuclear verdicts. They feel like they were being targeted. There is no driver shortage. We know there's plenty of drivers, but we have a shortage of trucking companies that want to pay drivers the fair pay. Okay. Tariffs is a thing that, yes, has it affect trucking in a way? Yes. If you are doing port work, it has affected you because there's not a whole lot coming off of the truck. But if you're doing flatbed and you're doing different types of situations, you're good because we have infrastructure bills. Trucking, you have to move with the market. You have to be able to go where the good is at. It's hard to stay in one lane. It doesn't work like that in trucking. You got to be able to justify and be able to adjust and get into something that's making money right now. The biggest problem we have in trucking is I would say is this. We have a lot of truckers that just want to do one thing and that's it. I always advise, especially if you're owner operator, have multiple things. Have multiple trailers. Have a dry van trailer, have a reefer trailer. Have a reefer trailer, have a flatbed trailer. Don't just do one thing because now you're susceptible to the failure if that one market's not doing good. Like I said, if you're doing port work right now, this is a terrible time for you to be in trucking because there's not a lot of work coming in off of those ships because of tariffs. Do I think the tariffs will be lifted next year? Oh, for sure. They're working on a deal right now with China, but these things take time. So as if you're doing port work and it doesn't work for you right now, don't you think you should be able to hop into something else and keep you going for now? But what it is though, these truckers, we get stuck in one lane. If you're a one truck owner or operator, you should not be stuck. You should be continually to do multiple things to get through the bad times. Like I said, flatbed is eating right now. Reefer's doing well right now. So you can't tell me that trucking is bad. It's just that people aren't adjusting to the market. You can't be stuck in one lane. You can't just say, I'm going to do port work and that's it. That's not going to work. You got to be a Swiss Army knife. That's one of the biggest things I tell my mentors or tell my mentees when I'm talking to them. I'm talking to different owner operators. Be a Swiss Army knife. Be a specialist in multiple things so you can adjust with the market. We all know right now it's Christmas time, holiday time. We have dry vans going to be doing well, but we have a time right now where flatbed is doing well when it's usually decreasing. So you have to look at the market and see where is it good at right now and how can I adjust with the market. As a trucker, you have to have many skills, especially if you're a one truck shop. Many skills to where you can adjust, where you can jump from this to this. Those are the ones that staying alive right now. They have multiple ways to make money. If you're depending on one way to make money, you're not going to make the money you're going to make consistently.
So basically, there's talks of half the truck drivers being replaced by automation or AI within the next 10 years, which of course means further instability for those who are truck drivers now, right? They're going to get fewer paying jobs, or fewer good paying jobs, should I say. Um, and so, really, it's time for them to start looking at ways to pivot, especially if you are new into trucking or anything like that. If there are any type of specialties or anything that you can add on, you definitely just want to add those on. So, if you guys start noticing, the prices continue to surge, which of course we see that already. But along with fewer trucks on the road, it's not just the economy, but it's a big effect of what's happening around us. So just checking on your drivers, your warehouse workers, your delivery folks, like just, ask them what their thoughts and opinions are, if they're noticing an uptick or are they seeing a downturn.
One thing you have to say and understand is if you see less truckers on the road, it's because we're getting the immigrants off of the trucks and out of the country. So that's actually good for American truckers. So if I see less trucks, that means they're doing a lot to get the illegal truckers off. So now we're going to have a surge in pricing and money that we're going to make because we have less trucks. That is in favor of American truckers. Okay. Automation, she talked about automation. My biggest thing about automation is this: they're one accident away of being completely over. They're one accident away because lawyers are licking their chops. They already target trucking companies. That's why we had those bankruptcies, because a lot of them were getting hit with the nuclear verdicts. They were like, you know what, bump this. We're being targeted, right? So imagine what will happen if an automated truck gets into an accident. There's lawyers out there estimating that that would be $1 billion settlement because there's so many people they can sue. They already have these automation trucks now. They were so scared about the $1 billion settlements that they had to put a safety driver back in it. So it defeats the whole purpose. I don't believe automation trucks is not going to happen in my lifetime, maybe in my kids' lifetime, but we have to make sure that we are having automated cars first, because you can't dictate what other cars are going to do, especially four-wheelers. I don't know what they're going to do. They're sporadic. You can't calculate how they drive. So that's why I feel like automated trucks are going to not they're not going to happen for a very long time. So I don't feel like truckers need to be worried about that. There's so many conditions, there's so many things. I know a lot of people don't like Elon Musk, but if automation was really a viable option, don't you think he would have did it? But he did electric trucks because he knows and understands like this is not viable. Yes, we could say, oh, we have some cars, but if all the cars aren't automated, then I don't trust automated semi trucks. That's how automated semi trucks work. Okay. But shout out to her for the information. But I think you gotta do a little more research and understand these things and see that, okay, we have less trucks on the road because they're targeting illegal immigrant truckers, which is good for truckers. Automation is not gonna happen for a long time. Okay. We have to be able to be Swiss Army knives as far as truckers, to be able to get in different things, pivot from one thing to another. That's how you make money in trucking. That's how you get consistent money. You can't stay in one lane. But is there a shift, a small shift right now? Has trucking been down right now? Yes, but before it was oversaturated. But we're getting rid of the saturation. But what it is, truckers just have to be patient. You have to be able to save your money. You have to be smart with your money. A lot of people that are going broke or are in trucking, or a lot of companies, it's really self-inflicted. You're not saving the money. You think the money's coming forever, and then what happens? You go broke. So that's my 2 cents on that. I don't think trucking's in trouble. I think trucking is going through a reset. I think trucking is actually going to be a lot better next year. I've been saying that since the beginning of this year, but truckers have to understand that we have to be able to be there next year. So what are you doing now to prepare yourself for next year? And what other special endorsements are you getting? What are you doing to make yourself more valuable? If you still just want to be a drive-in trucker and just be that as an owner operator, you're not going to make it. You have to be special. You have to do more to make more money in trucking. It's just like life, right? But good video, good information. Just want to correct a couple things. But trucking is going through a reset. Trucking will always be around. You will always need trucking. Everything goes on the truck. Trucking is probably one of the most valuable things to America. That's the reason why they made highways, was for trucks. Okay. So they're not going anywhere. But yes, we're going through a reset. We're getting a lot of the bad people out, whether that's people that got into the industry illegally, whether that's people that got into the company, got into the industry greedy and thinking they're gonna make all this money, doing things the wrong way. So all that's coming out. It's like a mass exodus of the bad. So when you get rid of the bad, what's left? The good. So that's why I wholeheartedly believe, and I always keep saying is that trucking will be really, really good starting in trucking 2026. So trucking 2026 is gonna be really, really good. You just got to put yourself in a position to be there. That's what truckers need to do.